This is the start. Right now, I'm just a disembodied voice doing disembodied voice thing. But there's going to be an exploration into science, history, technology, basically anything nerdy, anything that guy at work or at school or in your family talks about, and your eyes glaze over and you kind of dismiss it. Yeah, that's going to be what's going to be talked about here. Well, why? We have so much information nowadays. We're inundated with learning about different things. We can have access to it so quickly, but the one thing that we don't really do, we don't read anymore. We don't really have independent thought. No, we do. This is not some conspiracy theory. What it is an attempt to make it a little bit easier to not just know about the world, but understand. There was a quote Jordan Peterson once said, I want to know what you think. Well, that's what this is an attempt at. Letting you know what I think, or presenting you with an original thought besides just a narrative, besides just a fact. Not to influence you, but basically to make you think. Sometimes you sit in a barber chair, you go about your life, or you have a conversation with a friend. These aren't things that are really common nowadays, but they are things that allow us to talk, to think, to feel, and come up with our own unique thoughts. And that's what this channel is about. So come along with me, your disembodied voice, and enjoy. Now, this is also an experiment. I want to see how long, how consistently I can do this, how much I can learn. So your input is as valuable as anything else. Keep it respectful, but I'm interested to see what you think. You're going to present me with your thoughts in form of comments. You're going to subscribe. You're going to do all of these things because I told you to. You're going to do these things because that's how we are as humans. This is a new way. But that's enough for the preamble.
Hey, what's up? What's a blue orange? Before we answer that, what does that mean to know? Or better yet, what does it mean to understand?
Answer. Do you understand? Do you understand? Well, before we even get to figure that out, what does that even mean? Why is it that when we want to know if someone comprehends something, they have to understand us? What does standing under anything have to do with anything? It's a bit confusing, especially if English isn't your first language or you're not a native English speaker. It can be very confusing. Well, that's true, but in the name of this channel, or for the sake of understanding, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. But what does understanding have to do with anything? Well, it has to do with pie, and not pie what you're thinking about. No, it's not the food. It comes from Proto-Indo-European. No, that's not one language. It's like reading a book from hundreds of years ago, and you don't really know who wrote it. A lot of people could have written it, but together, when you look at all the evidence and all the writings, it helps you to understand, okay, this is the common thought of the day. This is how they approach situations. This is the phrase that they use. Oh, here's an expression. That's what it is. Proto-Indo-European, for the sake of brevity, means the system of languages that are used and that comprise a body of thought. Basically, this is how they saw the world, and this is how they spoke. So, a lot of times you have different bodies of languages in different forms, like Sanskrit and other things like that, that communicate thought. But I'm talking about Europe. So, the family of languages that understanding comes from would be the Germanic family. Now, you have English, German, Dutch. These families of languages or people who use these languages had common understandings. That's literally what language means. So, understanding comes from under or to be under or a difference. in different languages, German, Dutch, Danish, English. Uh, all of these languages have that thought. So under, to be under, ANDER, or if you Wikipedia, you can do that. But that really means to stand at one place and have someone perceive the same thing that you are. Basically, I'm here in one location and you're in another location, but together we can reach a consensus or perceive the same thing. So, let's make it even simpler. When you say, do you understand? It's basically saying, can you bridge the gap? Can you take this information from my mind, put it in your mind, and sympathize with me? Can you manipulate this information? Can you change your perception in such a way that you're able to embody my thoughts and my essence? In short, do you get me? Can you bridge the gap? So ironically, standing under someone or someone standing over you in two different levels is kind of like being on a bridge or bridging the gap. But essentially, that's what understanding means. To go from one person's thoughts to another's, to receive it and perceive it in a way that's unified. So, do you get me? Do you understand? Well, this is my first attempt at a disembodied voice. I'm working on it. Let me know what you think. Perhaps I'll remaster this, I'll redo it one day, and I can make it a little bit more concise, or a little bit more understanding. But, as always, you can subscribe, like, and comment in the description below, and let me know what you think. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about this, because I want to know, I want to learn, and as a disembodied voice, that's all I'm going to do. So, see you later, and stay la vie.